welcome to the Mavs Court Report. I'm your host, Larry Lace. On today's episode, we're diving into the latest news surrounding the Dallas Mavericks. But first, we gotta thank our sponsor, Game Time, for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking for your tickets for your next Dallas Mavericks game, or any other sporting event or major event, check out Game Time today. Use the link in the description, I should say, and help support the channel. Now on to today's first topic. Trae Young could be the next star Mavericks sign. The Dallas Mavericks drafted Trae Young with the 5th overall pick in 2018, but he was never headed to Texas. They worked out a deal with the Hawks to move up to 3rd to secure the services of Luka. It cost the Mavs a lottery pick in 2019 and forever linked the two All-Star players. Both players quickly made their mark in the NBA. Luka and Young were both All-Stars in the second season, and they shared a viral moment during the Rising Stars game in 2020. Luka is a 3-time All-NBA selection, and Young has twice been an All-Star in his 4 seasons. They are two of the best playmakers on the planet, and they may be linked together again. Rumors suggest that Trae could request a trade this offseason, just as the Mavericks will have all their draft capital to acquire a second star. We're going to take a look at why Young could be the all-star Dallas needs to build a title contender around number 77. Dallas Mavericks fit Trae Young's reasons for potential requesting a trade. Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report cites Young's desire to win and chemistry issues as reasons why the 2-time all-star point guard could request a trade in the offseason. He has clashed with head coach Nate McMillan, and the team has struggled since reaching the conference finals 2 years ago. The Mavericks reached the conference finals last season, and joining forces with Luka would immediately give Dallas the best backcourt duo in the league. Young is an elite shooter and floor spacer who could take his game to another level, playing off of number 77. The Mavs' run to the conference finals was sparked by their chemistry. Jalen Brunson left for New York, but bringing in Trae Young can more than make up for his loss. Young is a shot creator and playmaker Dallas desperately needs. He would also team up with head coach Jason Kidd, and the Hall of Fame point guard could help Trae reach his peak. The Mavericks fit what Trae Young is looking for if he requests a trade, and he fits the team's needs as well. Next up, Trae Young can take pressure off the Dallas Mavericks star Luka. Luka takes on an enormous workload for the Mavs. He's currently 2nd in the NBA in usage after leading the league for the last 2 years. Luka's percentage is actually higher this season, but Giannis has taken on a historic workload with Chris Middleton out to take over the league lead. Dallas desperately needs another playmaker that can fill Jalen Brunson's role from last season. Young has averaged over 25 points and 9 assists per game for 4 straight years. Head coach Jason Kidd would not have to think twice about resting Luka because Young is one of the best shot creators in the league. It would take some time for the duo to divide the ball handling duties, but Kidd's offensive mind could work out plenty of avenues for both to succeed. Fans have seen Luka play off the ball more since Kidd has taken over as head coach. They love to run him off screens so he can catch the ball going downhill. Luka is posting up more than ever. Dallas could draw up plenty of actions with Trae Young initiating for Luka and vice versa. Would Trae be happy being the second star? If his desire to win, that is likely his best case scenario. Young's numbers have dipped this season after the Hawks added Murray. Atlanta is still working things out, and the Mavs would have a similar issue as the two stars adjust to playing together, but they could form an unstoppable backcourt duo. Trae Young's defensive concerns are overblown after Mavericks' success with Jalen Brunson. Young is one of the best offensive initiators in the NBA, but his defense rates is one of the worst. He ranks 233rd out of 250 qualified players and 538th defensive Raptor this season. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd has preached defense since taking over, but Young is just ahead of Spencer Dinwiddie, who ranks 236th in the metric this season. Last season, Trae was 245th of 250 qualified players, with Dinwiddie and Brunson finishing tied for 149. Dallas reached the conference finals with two below-average defenders in the backcourt next to Luka. so why would Young's defense sink their ship? The 6'1" point guard's defense becomes more problematic in the playoffs when teams hunt switches and target players. But that could be to the Mavericks' advantage, I should say. Teams targeted Luka over the last 3 years in an effort to wear him down. They would have to pick their poison with Young on the roster, and the fresh player would be feasting on the offensive end of the floor. The Dallas Mavericks would have to improve their defensive options around Luka and Trae Young, but the duo could make things work. Their offense would be unstoppable, so they would just need to be an above-average defense to become serious title contenders. Trae Young is the exact piece the Mavericks are searching for next to Luka. Young's abilities to handle the ball, make plays, take pressure off of Luka, and space the floor make him the ideal backcourt partner for number 77. Teams could not afford to collapse into the paint to stop a Luka drive with Young spotting up on the weak side. He would swish a wide-open three-pointer or attack a closeout for an easy bucket. The duo would put even the best defenses in a blender and give them nightmares for weeks. Dallas wants to use their draft capital to acquire a second star in the summer of 2023. Who better than a 24-year-old point guard that just made third-team All-NBA last season? Young is an unquestioned superstar that is on a rookie max extension. They could form a dynamic duo for the next decade and instantly jump into title contention. If Young requests a trade in the offseason, the Hawks would likely head into another rebuild. The Mavericks would be able to offer 4 first-round picks and 3 swaps to acquire Trae Young. It would be a massive haul that would be a bit difficult to turn down. But there will be other suitors. Atlanta is certainly a situation to watch this season and beyond. The Dallas Mavericks are eager to upgrade their roster around Luka, and it will likely begin before the February 9th trade deadline. Can the Mavs find another piece that helps them make a playoff run this year? Will they acquire a second star in the offseason? Stay tuned to find out, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Who do you think they should sign or make a trade for? And now on to our next topic. Luka wins second straight Western Conference Player of the Week honor. Dallas Mavericks superstar Luka is the hottest player in the NBA right now. He scored 50 plus in 3 of his last 5 games, averaging 42.2 points, almost 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2.5 steals over the team's 6-game win streak. Luka has been unstoppable all season, but he is making his MVP case as the Mavericks keep winning without 3 key rotation players. Luka won his second straight Western Conference Player of the Week honors on January 2nd. Former Mavericks Kristaps Porzingis won in the East as the Mavericks went 3-0 over the last 7 days, with Luka averaging 48-point triple-double. This week included 2 50-point games, including the never-before-done 60-point, 20-rebound triple-double. It is Luka's second consecutive Player of the Week honors and the 9th of his career. Here's a look back at 3 games before diving into what is ahead for number 77 and the Mavericks. Luka scored 146 points, grabbed 39 rebounds, and dished out 32 assists over the 3 games as he became the first first player in NBA history to amass those totals over any 3-game stretch. It started with the 60-point game against the Knicks, which was the most points scored in a game in Mavericks history. Luka went for a 35-point triple-double against the Rockets in the next game, before scoring 51 points in a victory over the Spurs. Luka has been white-hot, and he is doing all right now with the Mavericks short-handed. The schedule stiffens to begin the new year. They face the Rockets before hosting the Celtics and the Pelicans, who have 2 of the 5 best records in the league. Dallas goes on a 5-game road trip following Saturday's game at the American Airlines Center. Can Luka stay hot? He has won 2 straight Player of the Week honors, and fans know the best is still yet to come. And now on to our next topic. Jaden Hardy needs minutes. The Dallas Mavericks traded back into the second round to select Jaden Hardy. The 20-year-old guard was a projected top 10 pick before his lone season playing for the G League, Ignite. He struggled with his efficiency playing against grown men, and it dropped him out of the first round. The talent was still there, and the Mavs had a first-round grade on him, so they pounced when slipped to 38th on draft night. Hardy's talent is unquestioned, and the 6'4" guard has averaged 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 33.3 minutes over 11 games with the Texas Legends, where he is shooting 54.9% from the field and 49% on his threes. He's dominated the league this season, but the rookie has only played 78 minutes for the Mavericks and has been limited to mop-up duties. Head coach Jason Kidd discussed the importance of getting him minutes in his first NBA season, but the team has to balance that against winning. Hardy's not playing for several reasons, but here's why they need to find him more minutes. Starting off, at number 3, learn from mistakes. It is impossible to learn from mistakes if the player never gets on the court to make them. Hardy is practicing with the team, but the team is not scrimmaging given the packed schedule and injuries they are dealing with. Being shorthanded has the Mavs keeping the 20-year-old rookie in Dallas, but he still cannot crack the rotation. That leaves him without minutes. The Mavericks should be maximizing his minutes all season. If they know Jaden Hardy is not going to play in their game, the team should send him down to get minutes for the Legends. He needs to work on his playmaking, distributing, ball handling, shot selection, and defense. The best place to do that is on the court in game action. The Mavs need to let Hardy play. Not just in G League either. Hardy needs more NBA minutes to make mistakes and grow. The 6'4" guard has a high ceiling, but he will never reach it unless he gets playing time. Number 2, diversify skill set. Hardy has been the best player on his team for most of his life. He is immensely talented and a true 3-level scorer. The 20-year-old was the number 2 player in his high school class, but he cannot just be a scorer in the NBA. Hardy needs to diversify his game if he is going to reach his ceiling. The Mavericks need him to be a secondary playmaker and ball handler that plays within their defensive scheme. Turnovers and decision-making are significant issues for the 20-year-old. He struggles to read the game and make the proper play. He has the perfect mentor in Jason Kidd. The Mavs head coach was one of the best point guards in NBA history. But Hardy needs playing time to put those lessons into use. His defensive intensity fluctuates, and he struggles on that end of the floor. Consider this reason number 1 why Hardy has not played more minutes. Coach Kidd has emphasized defense since taking over in the summer of 2022, and Jaden Hardy must improve here if he wants to play significant minutes for the Mavericks at any point in his career. And number 1, learn to play a role. When Hardy plays for the Legends, the offense goes through him. He gets the majority of the shots and is the focal point of the offense. But that will not be the case for the Mavs. Luka is the first, second, and third option in Dallas. He will do the majority of the ball handling and playmaking, along with being the unquestioned leading scorer. To play significant minutes with the Mavericks, Hardy will have to learn to play off number 77. Brunson did a fantastic job last season as the team's second leading scorer and playmaker as the team reached the conference finals. Can Hardy morph into a similar option? He must work on his jumper and mid-range game to fill any gaps created by Luka drawing the defense. The 20-year-old rookie needs to learn to play a role in the defensive end too. He's never going to be a lockdown option that guards the opposition's best player. It is not in Hardy's game, but he could be a productive tertiary offensive option that holds his own on the defensive end. He must put in the work to get there, but it is a possibility. Head coach Jason Kidd needs to find more minutes for Jaden Hardy. He does not have to be part of the nightly rotation, but the Mavericks cannot be afraid of putting him in the game, especially when the offense needs a spark. Will Dallas play him more? Well, stay tuned to find out. And next up, on our next topic, 3 reasons why acquiring Zach LaVine would be a mistake. The Mavericks are rumored to be interested in trading for Bulls guard Zach LaVine. The 2-time All-Star is averaging over 22 points per game for the 3rd straight season, and fans remember his epic dunk contest performances. Dallas is searching for a co-star for Luka, and the Bulls could be on the verge of a total rebuild. Chicago is 16-21 so far, and 11th in the Eastern Conference. Their early season struggles, coupled with some of the behind-the-scenes drama, has every team in the league looking at the Bulls as a team that might sell at the deadline. He figures to fetch the biggest return given his age and a long-term contract in place. The Mavericks need a co-star next to Luka to become serious title contenders, but they should not trade for Zach. These are 3 reasons why acquiring the 2-time All-Star would be a mistake by the Mavericks brass. He is in the first season of a 5-year contract worth $250 million. Having a 27-year-old 2-time All-Star on your roster that cannot hit free agency until 2026 sounds enticing for the Mavericks. But Zach's left knee is problematic. He tore his ACL on that knee in 2017 before having an arthroscopic procedure on it last offseason. A flare-up caused him to miss a few games at the start of the regular season, and there is zero telling how that knee will hold up long term. Staying on the court, period, has been a bit problematic. He missed 15 games last season, and the 27-year-old has sat out 34 of the last 3 years. If his left knee checks out fine during the physical, there are other reasons why trading for him would be a mistake for the Mavericks. Crush his flexibility. His 5-year max contract will not be easy to acquire. It will cost the Mavs multiple pieces to make the salaries work, and it crushes their flexibility moving forward. Luka and Zach combined would make $74.2 million this season. The cap is projected to rise to $134 million next season, but the duo would make north of $80 million combined. Dallas would be in the luxury tax, but what kind of roster could they build around Luka and LaVine? Trading for LaVine would make him Luka's co-star for the length of their current contracts. It would not be easy to trade him away if things did not work out. The front office would have to admit they made a mistake, and that is not easy to do. If the duo does not work out, it could be the team's last chance before number 77 hits free agency. Trading for LaVine would put Dallas in the luxury tax for the foreseeable future. Would the Mavericks be willing to pay the penalties over the next 4 years? Is Zach enough to make the team title contenders? It's an important question to ask. And the number one reason trading for him would be a mistake? Not title contenders. The Mavs have one chance to get this right. They need to find Luka a co-star that makes them title contenders. That is why they need to keep the 23-year-old superstar in Dallas long term. Is Zach enough to push the Mavericks over the top? Zach is a below-average defender, and the fit can be a bit problematic on that end of the floor. Luka has improved his defense, but he is average at best. Teams will target LaVine in the playoffs, and it can be difficult for the Mavericks to contend for the championship when their top 2 players struggle on the defensive end of the floor. LaVine has played in just 1 playoff series in his career, and the Bulls lost in 5 games to the Bucks. Is he ready to be the co-star on a title team? He wants to win, but can LaVine be that player in the postseason? The Dallas Mavericks need their version of the J. Rue Holiday trade that the Milwaukee Bucks made to build a title contender around Giannis. Luka needs a co-star that can get it done on both ends of the floor, so trading for Zach would be a mistake. The Mavs need to get this one right so they can build a championship team around number 77. Who will they acquire? Stay tuned to find out. And if you want to keep tabs on us, go hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like our video. And hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos so you can find out who the Dallas Mavericks signed as a co-star for Luka. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.